You ready to laugh and maybe learn? We got Bill Burr, how you know the N-word is coming. Shout out to Shaq's 5 minutes. Let's go. The legend Bill Burr.
It's nice to be back here down the south.
Thursday
I had a real
morning
weird experience last time I
podcast
came down
over
here.
here.
I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar. There's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And that Terrell Owens story was in like sports news. So I try to make conversation. I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? And the dude looks at me. He's like, you know what I say? And then he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming. And it's coming hard. Oh, yeah, it's not going to be pronounced with the A. It's going to be with the R. And he hit the R. He, like, stuck the landing. There was, like, a dismount. Klan members high-fiving in the background, like, doing the wave. Just out of nowhere. So
Klan
now, immediately,
members
I'm looking
high-fiving.
over my shoulder like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm waiting for, like, this hail of black fists to come raining down on top of me. I hate when people do stuff like that. That dude made me part of, like, a potential ass-kicking that I had nothing to do with.
You know what I love about Bill Burr? Now, I'm going to keep saying this. There's a lot of people who do racial comedy, right? Almost every comedian, right? But as being a black person for over 30 years, for 30 years plus, I know the difference between when someone is making a racial joke and when somebody in their real life looks down on black people. Let's just call a spade a spade. I do. And Bill Burr, the way he maneuvers through these jokes, you can tell he is very in tune with black people. There is not a hatred bone. I mean, that's weird to say about Bill Burr because he hates everything. Well, not more than he hates everything in his body. You know what I mean? I can tell Bill Burr is somebody I would hang out with. I can tell that he's hilarious and he could make a black joke and I wouldn't even get as offended. But there's some comedians I go,
That dude made me part of, like, a potential ass-kicking that I had nothing to do with.
I don't really get offended.
You don't do shit like that. He just
skits
had
or
that word,
bits.
hot potato,
I'm
just
just
threw
saying
it in
in
my
real
lap.
life.
Trying to pass it down to the next white dude.
Oh,
Shit like that. He just had that I had nothing to do with. That dude made me part of, like, a potential ass-kicking that I had nothing to do with. You don't do shit like that. He just had that word, hot potato, just threw it in my lap. Trying to pass it down to the next white dude. I hate when people do that, man. You know, it's like, dude, feel me out first. Ask some questions. Do you
he
like
assumed.
to fish?
He looked at your hair.
Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you
Go,
go old
Bill!
school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia. Don't just dive into it.
Let's go,
That dude was
Bill.
one of the angriest people I ever met. I should have known that word was coming, because he was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I would bring up, look at man, that guy's talking trash, he would just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you? Their eyes are up, you just shut up and play the game! You know what's funny? I don't even like
met
Terrell,
people like
but now
that.
I love the guy. Because every time I see him talking trash, I know this idiot in Nashville is just losing his mind, like kicking over his kitchen TV. Shut the fuck up!
Oh, he's chefing. The chef is here.
I like violence, man.
The chef is
I like
here.
when it happens to me or if I see it live. I like watching it on TV, you know?
God, I love Bill
Watching
Burr.
people, you know, get attacked by animals. Just get blasted in the face or something, you know? Like, I'm a huge sports fan. You know my favorite, like, moment of, like, the last year was in sports? That Detroit Piston, Indiana Pacer bench clearing brawl. Wasn't that great?
What year was this? The Detroit, I know this is mad from back. It's a Shaq comedy all-star, so yeah, I know. I don't know what he talking about, yo.
Last year was in sports. That Detroit Piston. Like, I'm a huge sports fan. You know my favorite, like, moment of, like, the last year was in sports? That Detroit Piston, Indiana Pacer bench clearing brawl. Wasn't that great? That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I was so confused when I watched ESPN that night. They were like, that was absolutely disgraceful. Basketball fans, they just must be...
Is he talking about
Like,
malice
I'm a
and
basketball
malice?
fan. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching out-of-shape civilians get the shit kicked out of them by professional athletes. was fascinating.
Is that the malice?
And I think as sports fans, we kind of had it coming, right? Because how many times you gone to a game, right? You got a little too drunk, you started screaming at some dude on the field who could clearly kick the shit out of you, right? If you saw him in the parking lot, you'd be like, hey, can you sign my stamp collection? I think you're awesome. You get in the game, you're all drunk, you're like, you suck, buddy! You're a piece of shit!
He literally is breaking down and boiling down YouTube comments. That is literally... No, Bill Burr, man, dog, Bill Burr. Bill Burr, bro. Bill Burr, he good. He good, right? As I've said, I've been a huge fan of Bill Burr's podcast for years. I've watched it for years, and that's how I know, like, because there's some other comedian podcasts I watch, and I go, I'm starting to feel like a rally a little bit. I was here for the yucks and the chucks, but because it's one thing to make like jokes where you're like, oh, this person might not like this certain kind of people. It's another thing on the podcast. That's when you go, all right, nigga, you ain't even joking right now. You just ranting. Bill Burr.
And they're always calling him up. Come on up here. No, come on up here. Well, they came up there.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to rewind. A lot of people tell me when I pause, make sure I go back and rewind.
In the game, you're all drunk. You're like, you suck, buddy. You're a piece of shit. And they're always calling him up. Come on up here. No, come on up here. Well, they came up there. They did, and they kicked
Ron
the shit out of
Artest.
everybody. It was great.
Gotcha.
It's like a cartoon. You're like beating up whole rows of people at once, like.
This got to be the malice in the palace. It's got to be. He got to be talking
I
about
loved
the
every
malice.
second. I love how Ron Artest punched the
I
ball
knew
down.
it.
Wasn't that great?
It was.
He taught that dude a valuable lesson in life. When shit goes down, you don't just stand there like you're watching a movie like, wow, it's coming right at me. Must be in 3D or something. That was a 5'6", 110-pound white dude, had an angry 6'10" black dude running right at him. That had to have been in his top 3 nightmares all time. Right behind getting his dick cut off and being lit on fire. And he just stood there. He's like trying to explain himself. Well, I still have the liquid in my cup, so there's no way I could have... He's an idiot.
No. I still have the liquid in my cup. Stop hitting me. Yo, let me know what I should react to next. Bill Burr, you are a legend, man. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, man.